to yourself.
All right, my name is Portia Sanford, and I'm P89 Holly on Instagram, and yes, and that's who I am.
So
Yes.
what do you do? What do you offer?
What do I offer? Right now, I offer credit repair. I make homemade candles, and different things like that for right now. It's other things that I really don't advertise on Instagram that I do behind closed doors, but basically, credit repair, and I do homemade candles for spiritual
So
things like that.
what got you started into doing credit repair?
Credit repair. I had been working on my credit since last year, and I kind of stopped. Then I started back again this year. I was introduced to my mentor, and I got on with UCES, the company that I'm with, and so I started with them as an agent. You know, you can either be an agent or come on as a customer. So I decided to be an agent. And I started with that, and the only reason why I started with it because I just noticed a lot of us, we really don't focus on credit too much, and we kind of just push it to the side, or we just afraid to even look at our score. And so I was one of those ones that was afraid to look. I knew it was low, but I didn't really know, how to go about raising it or anything about that. So that was that, and I pretty much felt the need. I felt like it was just the need for us as a people to work on that. And so I just was like, I think this is a good avenue to try to march in some awareness and just give some information, even if you didn't take the necessary steps to do what you needed to do, at least you'll have that knowledge for when you're ready to.
So how does one repair one's credit?
Well, our process pretty much is simple. Like me as an agent, I don't do any letters. Like I don't form any letters. The company, United Credit Educational Services, they pretty much do everything. They form up the letters. You pretty much do everything through a link. It's nothing like I would never have access to your information, your social or anything personal. Everything is signed up through a link. And basically, the process is like you'll sign up, you'll give them access to your credit report, and then what they do is they pull your credit report. They make out the letters, just depending on what you have on your score. What's on your history. It just depends. And then they'll send out letters to all three credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. They'll send out 3 separate letters for them, and then all we ask you to do is to send those letters back out. And that just basically makes you a part of the process. It's nothing hidden. You have access to your letters. Like, say, for instance, they send you letters, you don't want to wait for them. You have access to go print them off yourself. You don't have to actually wait because it may take a longer. It just depends on where you're at. You have the access, and we have other different things that we offer as well. So, and then that's pretty much the process. They send you the letters, you send them back off to them, and if whenever the credit bureaus respond, you'll send that response back to UCS. They'll respond with another set of letters, another round of letters, and it just depends. It could be up to 4 rounds of letters. Like I said, it just depends. Everybody's different because everybody's credit report isn't the same. We don't have all the same things on it, so it just depends.
All right,
Much.
Cool. So how did you get started in the candle business?
Yes. Candles. Oh man, candles. I'm into spirituality. I've been learning about crystals and sage and Palo Santo, different things like that. And I took a liking to crystals, amethyst and rose quartz, because that was love. That represented love and compassion, and that was something that I was trying to give more of and give myself more of. And so with my candles, I just had an idea one day. I'm like, well, I could just, make my own candles. I looked up how to make them, and I'm like, well, it's pretty easy. And I just looked up one day the crystals, and I didn't realize that they made crystals for candles to put inside candles. And I just like, well, I could just make candles, and it's more for meditation reasons. That's why I made them. For meditation. I know everybody don't know about meditation, but I thought it was a way to kind of march in meditation for people that didn't know anything about it. I thought it was a way to march in that, for them to think about it and to look more into it. And so that's how I pretty much came about with my candles, to kind of trigger something within, someone to want to, maybe see what meditation is about, or see what rose quartz or the crystals or something like that. And then, I just have like I have lavender scent for right now. So, but it was more personal for me. And then I kind of just started putting it out there for other people to grasp or
So you kind of touched on the fact that it's something that you needed. Why do you feel like that you needed that in your life?
More self-love, and to give more love. Well, my self-love journey has started like last year, but I went through a very, very, very hard time last year with kind of accepting the breakup of me and my children's father. You know how sometimes we could get into putting all the blame on, the other person, and really not taking responsibility and things like that. And what I realized is that it was more so me not taking responsibility for the things that I may have allowed or caused. And so with doing that, it caused me to have to reflect on me and my decisions and the different things that I've done in the past or now. And so it just made me basically like, it all boiled down to self. It all boiled down to self for me. And that the only reason why I was getting the results that I was getting, because it was because I wasn't loving me enough. I wasn't showing myself enough attention. But I would give love, give that, and everybody don't know how to give it back, or everybody, you put expectations on people that people don't even know that you put on them. And so all because of how you feel you love or how you give. And it shouldn't always be like that. I would never say give. It's a balance in it all, but at the same time, it starts with you. You can only give so much. And I was the type of person that would give. And then when I didn't get that in return, I would flip out, or, I would do something negative, that would cause another negative reaction, all because I feel like I'm justified, or because, I had put these expectations on somebody that they probably didn't have no clue of. And so, my journey just kind of started with me taking responsibility of me not loving myself enough and not really valuing myself enough. And it had nothing to do with nobody else. It was all me at the end of the day. I feel like we are what we attract. What we give, we get. What you put out, you get back. And so what it boils down to is where are you, and what does your frequency or what do your vibrations say about you? You know what I'm saying? So whatever frequency you're on, that's what you're attracting pretty much. So some of us don't like to really go in that dark place, but that's the only, if you really want to figure you out, find out who you really are, you have to go into those dark places, and you have to figure out what it is about you that maybe keep attracting
Yeah.
certain things, because some people are here for a reason. What they say, some people are here for a reason, season, or a lifetime. So some people are here just to teach you a lesson, something that may keep coming up, but it's something that maybe you're not paying attention to, or you're not really understanding. So, you know, I'm at the point in my life where I just want to make sure that I'm good, and then I feel like everything outside of me would flow in place. And even when I'm not saying that things aren't going to mess up or things aren't going to happen, but at the same time, I'll be more prepared and I'll be more aware than being on this emotional roller coaster.
Wow. That was really, really deep. Um, okay, sorry. Okay, so what is P89 Holly then? If your name is Portia.
Well, 89 is, it's just Porsche really, and 89 is my year, the year I was born, and Holly is just short for Hollywood, which is a nickname that I had when I was a teenager, and it kind of just carried
Why'd they call you
on,
Hollywood?
and then I just made it. um, I it was more so, I guess, because I was spontaneous, like you just never really knew. And I was like the life of the party, and you never knew how I was going to come. And you know, I was just lights, camera, action. You know, back in the days.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so what is WAP?
Oh wow, it was so funny when you asked me that. I was like, oh God, I forgot I posted that, and the crazy part is I got the post from my mentor. I was like, oh, that was a good one. Because we talking about, yes, wealth, assets, and property. And my mentor is, you know, he with the credit repair and everything, he was the one that actually, you know, quoted that. And you know, it's just, you know, it's okay. The song is okay. Everything is okay. Cool. It's always a up and a down. You know, it's always the opposite to everything. So it's cool, but you know, it's time for us to kind of get out that mind frame of using our body and sex and to get what we want. I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. Like we don't have to do that. Like we're worth so much more, and it's just, yeah, wealth, assets, and properties versus where, yeah, it's opposite to that. You know what I'm saying? And we as women, especially us Black women, we you know, that's what the image is. That's what they put on TV. That's just what it is. And for our younger generation, it's just, they need another way out versus just always thinking about using their body.
Yeah, true. Is money a good incentive to work harder?
I mean, I say yes and no. It just depends on how you look at money, you know. I yes, it is, and then no, it's not, because you know sometimes the ego gets big when you start making a certain amount of money, and you know, we kind of forget where we started, or where we come from. And so in that sense, you know, it could, you know, just go drastic because you're boosting your ego versus it just being about, you know, like, you know, wealth, assets, and properties, you know, or just about your family. Is not always about fame, fortune, riches, and you know, just things like that we always, that's put in front of us on the day-to-day basis. You know, and so, you know, yeah, so I mean, it could be, it's a yes and a no. It's a yes and a no for me. you
I mean,
know,
there's no right or wrong answer.
and
Sorry, but
it's not, you know, it's okay to have it, but just don't get so carried away with your ego that you know it gets taken away from you.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? Oh my god, like, are you real? Like, you say things like I have a hard time phrasing out loud. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take so many notes after watching
You
this.
sound but hey.
Okay, okay. Do you think that attention seeking is a symptom from childhood trauma? Why?
Absolutely. 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 Um me being raised by a single mother, um my mom was more, she worked, you know, we was always taking care of whatever, working
Mm-hmm.
and everything. But, you know, we didn't get that attention. You know, we did not get that attention. And so after my dad got out of prison, from doing like 6 years, that was the longest he had ever been away. He never went back, but after he came home, it still was he wasn't that given that attention that we needed either. So my mom was the type of mother that gave more attention to men than to us. So I'm a living witness to, you know, attention, you know, because as I grew up as a teenager, I went to the streets for attention, you know, and that's just, I got, my mom kicked me out when I was 14 years old, and I went to live with my dad. And that was the first time I got a taste of the streets. And so I went back to live with her, you know, within that same year, but I had 6 months with my dad, and those 6 months changed my life for the rest of my life, because I got a taste of freedom at 14 years old. And even with that taste of freedom, I still wanted discipline, or, you know, that attention still from my mom and from my dad. Even though he let me do what I wanted to do, I still was like, well, dang, you ain't gonna tell me no. But I still wanted that attention of a father, you know. So when you give your children attention, that lets them know that they matter, that their voice matters, um, and when you don't, they go find it. They go find it, and who and more times, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be the wrong attention.
Yeah.
Especially for girls, you know, and then the boys, you know, they might just end up in the streets or something, because that's who taking them in. So I definitely, and even in trauma, you may not think that trauma comes from your mother or father not giving you attention, but it is trauma, because that means that you're, even as an adolescent, even as a you know, 8, 7, 6, 5-year or 3-year-old, they still feel that void. It's a void that children can feel, because it's more spiritual than anything. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a void that they feel, and the void gets bigger and bigger if you don't ever feel it. And that's just it, and that's just all. And so sometimes parents don't grasp that, and they don't understand that, and they don't understand why their children, you know, end up going out and then when they're ready to give them attention, you know, when they're ready to be interactive with them, it's too late, because they've already found the love that they feel like they've been wanting or needing from you, and you really haven't been giving it to them as much. Yeah. So definitely say yes to
that. Okay. What was your favorite Halloween costume as a child?
And I really thought it was funny, because we did not celebrate Halloween.
What? You didn't celebrate Halloween?
We used to go to Halloween night at the church. So it was not no celebrating on Halloween. Like, we literally used to be night. It's so crazy how they don't celebrate Halloween, but they make it Hallelujah night.
Yeah.
I really can't remember. I can't remember dressing up for
Well, did you
Halloween
ever do
like
like
that. I
a
really
did you
do
ever do
not.
like
I
a girls'
can't.
night with your friends, like doing like sexy Halloween costumes?
No, I didn't participate. My sister them did like during the club days when they used to have the club, the Halloween parties. I used to just go dressed in normal clothes. I did not. I didn't, but what would have probably been my favorite costume? I really didn't. I was just like, no, I'm not gonna be like everybody else. I'm gonna be the oddball. But if I did have to choose, it would probably be like a nurse or a school teacher or something like that,
Yeah.
something sexy like that.
Do you find it weird that people are complaining that they can't go trick or treating?
I think people need to look at the bigger picture. I think we need to look at the bigger
Right?
picture. It's a way bigger picture than just the
Right?
holidays.
And then I hate when they try to lump it
It's
in with
very
like, you're taking
crazy.
away my rights, your right to go knock on a stranger's door. That's so, like, you're not gonna die by skipping Halloween. You will die if you go to Halloween. But okay.
I thought nobody would want to risk taking any candy from anybody, so
That was
I
my
thought
first
that
thought.
that's
That was
how
literally my first thought. I was like, you don't want to, everyone's hands going to
yeah.
be in that. Like, you can't sanitize the candy. That's weird. You're gonna
Right. All
okay.
right.
So so
Oh
where can
God.
we like you, follow you, stalk you, all that fun stuff?
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more on Facebook. Um, but both pretty much on Facebook. I'm Portia Sanford on Facebook. My regular name, on Portia Sanford, and and then I actually have on Facebook. I have my like business page attached to it, and that one is Hollywood Creations, where I do my candles and I do my different things that I sell and different things. I also have my yoni kits that I sell, and I haven't started advertising my readings or anything because I do tarot readings as well. So I haven't started doing that too much yet. After my brother passed, you remember I told you about that. I kind of threw me for a loop, so I took a step back from everything. I haven't even been posting anything yet, so I'm just kind of regrouping and redoing everything, stuff like that. So when I do present, it'll just be a-okay, on point. So that's why I haven't been really too much on it, but I'm still doing the credit repair and everything like that. I just had to take a step back from everything, but it's coming back. I'm coming back slowly but
And I
surely.
appreciate you allowing me the time to be the first person that as your comeback right now. I appreciate that. And I have two
Right,
final
right,
questions, if you
right.
don't mind. What
Okay,
advice
okay.
with everything with the pandemic right now, people are panicking because let's be realistic. We're probably not going to get a second stimulus check. Let's be realistic. Let's be practical.
Right,
So, what
right.
advice would you give to someone to help their life financially right now?
Ooh. I would say definitely start with your
Mm,
credit. I would say start with your credit because everything is pretty much turning into a cashless society. So you know, that was one of the main reasons because I'm like everything is changing, and so numbers credit is way more um those numbers are more important than thousands of dollars in your bank account.
yeah.
Those numbers is that. $100,000 and some and more, way more. And so I would say start with your credit. Start working on your credit. Self and Chime are two cards that help with building your credit. I have both of them, and they are helping. They are helping me. They report to the credit bureaus. One card that reports your utilization, and another card reports your payments and different things like that. And you do not have on Self. You don't have to have a deposit or anything to start that account. So Self and Chime are two good ways. And don't take everything too serious. You know, meditate 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
At least, yes, take those deep breaths like you just did. In, out.
Trying. I'm trying.
Take them deep breaths in and out 30 times if you have to. And just stay calm and don't take life too serious. We are here on a journey and we are here to have fun. You know what I'm saying? We are here to enjoy and to try to learn more about ourselves and why we are here. So don't allow this pandemic to ruin your journey, because even this was in the making. Even this was, destined to happen. This was already in the making. So don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? We good. We all good. You know what I'm saying? Do not let this, don't let it take over your mind. The mind is the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? It's the battlefield of the mind right now. So just stay focused. And like I said, start with your credit though, for real, for real. I really believe that credit right now is the only thing that's pretty much going to count at the end of the day. They don't care about no money. They don't care about how much money you got, pretty much. That credit and your utilization and all of that, that's what they go look at. That's the first thing they want to know is what your credit score is.
Yeah. And then
that's the first thing. And just stay focused and stay prayed up. Keep your vibes high. Keep yourself surrounded by high vibing people. People that's gonna lift you up, people that's on the same level. It's nothing wrong with checking on people, family members or whatever, because I got family members that really ain't there yet, but at the same time just try to balance it all out. That's what Libra season. We're in Libra season right now. My boys are Libras, and that's what Libras is about, balancing. So
I love that. Oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? How do we start following each other?
I do not know. I was asking myself the same thing. I'm like, I don't even know how to start. I think I started following you.
I don't know how. I don't know who we mutually follow, but like when I saw credit repair, I was like, oh, I need this in my life. So
right. It's somebody we usually follow, but hey, that's how spirit works. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. I definitely appreciate your time, Miss Portia. Send me your Facebook link so I can follow you and all that fun stuff. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me on. I really
you did great. This was great. All right.
Okay,
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All righty, honey. Have a good one.